Hello, and welcome to Spokane County Spotlight. I'm Commissioner Josh Kerns, and my guest today is Cat Nichols, Administrator for the Spokane County Eastern Washington Regional Veterans Services. Cat, to start things off today, could you give our viewers a little bit of background about yourself and how you came to hold your current position at Spokane County?
Well, thank you, Commissioner Kerns. It's a bit of a labyrinth, but I'll try. I'm a U.S. Army veteran. I ended up in Spokane because I met a wonderful man in the service in Germany, and my husband brought me back to the Spokane area. In 2008, I graduated from Eastern, and I started my career in Veterans Services working for the Washington State Employment Security Department as an employment specialist, and it was kind of then that I realized how special the population that we're working with really is. I didn't know what a privilege it was to be a part of that group, and I didn't realize that only 1% of our nation actively serves our nation. They raise their right hand and they take an oath to protect and defend our nation, and they give up everything. They leave their mom, their dad, their house, their pets, everything, and they go and serve. And I didn't realize how unique that was until I started working in Veterans Services. And then in 2013, I had the opportunity to begin in Washington Management Service for the Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs. I was the Strategic Operations Manager over there for the last 4 years. I've been in Olympia, arrived here in Spokane just due to amazing, innovative, collaborative partnership between Spokane County and the State Department of Veterans Affairs to expand and bring new services to the veterans in Eastern Washington. So.
All right, all right. So one of the things that I heard is your department has a new mission, and could you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. I don't know if it's new, but maybe it's new and improved. The idea is to be able to provide veteran services, serve those who served with honor, respect, and dignity, and work really diligently to promote positive, discernible outcomes for those veterans.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's changed for veterans under the new administration?
Well, the first thing is the environment. We have made some renovations in the atmosphere and in the culture of veteran services here in Spokane County. We've combined services with state and county together to create more services, but the culture has changed. We've gone to what we call a human-centered design in order that the veterans who come into our office feel welcomed and received and honored. It was fairly institutional, a little bit stoic before, and so we're just trying to make it a little more friendly and engaging for the veterans. We have an amazing dream team there of staff that has come on board and has just all the right heart for this mission. So it's really a new place. So if veterans haven't been there in a while, we encourage them to come back and see us.
All right. So. There's, we all hear statistics for, nationwide, statewide, but how big is the veterans community here in Spokane County?
So Spokane County is home to about 44,000 veterans, but we have this amazing dynamic, and I'm sure you know this, but there's an additional 16,000+ veterans who come to us, to the VA Medical Center here in Spokane, from all of the surrounding counties as well, and they come here to seek not just the federal VA Medical Center services, but get connections with state and federal benefits as well.
Okay, so with that large of a veteran community, how many of the veterans actually receive services through your department?
So historically, this department has been serving about 6,000 a year, but we anticipate that that's going to grow exponentially now that we've expanded the services and also with the influx of post 9/11 veterans that are transitioning out of the military from Fairchild or from Joint Base Lewis McChord and any other installation across the nation coming here to Spokane to call it their home. So we expect that number to rise.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that we continue to hear about, in the media, is that veterans are experiencing, or we have a lot of veterans that are dealing with homelessness. What types of services do you offer veterans that are facing homelessness?
Okay, so there's a lot. So we like to first talk about our extensive provider network. We have a great relationship with Goodwill Industries, with Healthcare for Homeless Veterans, our VA federal partner. I'm a member of the Continuum of Care Board and the Veterans First Community Engagement Board. We all work together to do the problem solving for these veterans and looking at all the different challenges that they have. There's challenges in transportation, there's challenges with civil legal services and those kind of things. And so The programs that we have specifically are the County Veterans Relief Funds, which provides basic needs, crisis intervention and relief. We assist with utilities, with housing. We assist with sometimes groceries, basic hygiene items, that sort of thing. We also have some amazing connections to the Supportive Services for Veterans and Families grant through Goodwill Industries that does the housing piece. And we partner together with them to provide housing solutions. But finding the affordable housing is probably one of the challenges we have there.
Okay. You mentioned legal services. What types of services do you offer veterans that are justice-involved veterans?
Okay, so justice-involved veterans, this is all new. I guess I want to make sure that everybody knows that this is all new. In the past, the County Veteran Service Office pretty much provided indigent services, homeless services, that crisis intervention. But now we've expanded, and we do have a Bureau of Justice grant that helps us work with incarcerated reentry. So we can actually work with veterans that are incarcerated, work with them pre-release, and then follow them with some peer-to-peer mentoring after the fact so that they get reintegrated into our community successfully. We also have active engagement with the Veterans Court. Judge Vance Peterson's doing great work there, and the Veterans Forum, where they are connected with peer-to-peer mentors as well. It's been a really successful model. So those are some of the things that we've got going on.
Wonderful. Do you partner with other veterans organizations throughout the community? Because I know that there's a lot of them out there.
There are. So I want to make sure I don't forget anybody, but we're fortunate to have this, again, extensive network. We have this thing that we call the Sea of Goodwill. There's amazing partners in the faith-based community, local nonprofits, businesses that want to support veterans. We have connections with the nationally recognized veteran service organizations like the VFW, the American Legion, the Military of the Purple Heart, Vietnam Veterans of America, all of those organizations. We have a long-standing Eastern Washington Veterans Task Force here in Spokane, just a group of amazing citizens who some work in the veteran services arena, some not. Some are, have positions in higher education, but they're vested in this mission. And so we definitely partner, and we always welcome new partners. We're not stingy. We love to have a big, happy family of folks out there serving our vets. So that's the plan for this strategic, collaborative, regional initiative, is that none of us really have all of the resources in one place to do as good as we can for our veterans. So when we work together, we get a lot more accomplished. So. That's
fantastic. Could you tell us a little more about your office and your staff that you have that work there with you?
Oh my goodness, I could talk about them all day. We're so blessed. We have top talent at our office. We have an amazing operations manager named Rob Casey, who literally just retired a few months ago from 23 years of military service in both the Marine Corps and the Army National Guard. And he has just been a great addition to the team, providing the logistical and day-to-day management support that we've always needed. I think we have almost every branch of service represented except Coast Guard yet, so we're getting there. We just hired on a new veteran service officer who is retired Air Force as well. She was an air marshal actually through the Air Force, amazing. And all of these folks are being cross-trained so that they're learning now about the VA claims and benefits and services, so we can assist not just with the financial assistance programs, but with employment services, with claims and benefits services, and those types of things. So.
All right. Okay. What's sort of the greatest challenge in Spokane that we face to get to those positive outcomes for our veterans?
Well, data is always a challenge, so one of the things that we've looked at with the Community Veterans Engagement Board, which is, it was kind of, the idea spawned, it's in partnership with the federal VA, but it's community leaders here. Colonel Brian Newberry is the chair, along with Michelle Harris of Goodwill, and I'm a member of that board, and we kind of look at the community and do a gap analysis and figure out, what are we missing? When I first came on board, there was a lot of food vouchers and things like that going out, and we were just like, well, where are the real gaps? And from everything, all of the partners that we've talked to, the gaps are really, again, like I said, transportation. There's currently not a bus route that goes out to Miraboo Park where the vet center is, and so we've been doing some problem solving there. Affordable housing is always a challenge getting landlords that are willing to take the HUD-VASH vouchers and work with veterans and create opportunities there, work with, the Spokane County Veterans Relief Fund as we try and assist veterans with housing. And then civil legal services is another big one that we've been trying to partner with the Attorney General's office and the Public Defender's office, even trying to work out how we can establish a more consistent mechanism for veterans to get civil legal aid. So those are some of our challenges that we're working towards. We're not there yet, but I think we've got a really great team and we'll get there.
Okay, that's good to hear. Are there any programs that you offer for veterans that are trying to return to school?
Absolutely. So we have a really active VA work study program in our office. We have several folks going to college on their VA work, on their GI Bill right now, who are VA work studies for our office, and it gives them an opportunity to gain some experience and some extra money while they're going to school on their GI Bill. And we've got a couple of great ones right now in our office, always recruiting more. So veterans who are going to school in the Spokane area, we welcome them to come and see us and see if they could fit into our team as a work study. We also have at the State Department of Veterans Affairs a vet corps, which is these vet corps navigators that reside at the college campuses all around Spokane. We have one at Gonzaga, one at Eastern, one at the Falls, and they basically are a peer-to-peer navigator that help veterans using their GI Bill, any questions that they have as they're registering for school and have all those education questions, and they're there to support them. So
okay,
yeah.
And I've asked about a lot of different programs, but I just want to make sure, are there any other programs that you want to highlight that I haven't asked about?
Well, sure, and I'm sure, I apologize now if I've omitted any, all of my wonderful partners out there. If I forgot you, I'm sorry. But the State Department of Veterans Affairs, the bonus to this collaborative effort is that we also have the state programs available. There is a grant program that's specifically for our post 9/11 combat veterans. Basically, the effort was, we can't do war bonuses anymore because this conflict has been so long. And so it's an attempt to, it's legislatively funded, it's an attempt to provide assistance for transition to education or employment. So if we have someone transitioning out of the service to education or employment and they've served in Operation Iraqi Freedom, Enduring Freedom, or Noble Eagle, then they could potentially apply for this grant and get some financial assistance to help them on their way. We have an amazing collaboration with the Conservation District, a project called Vets on the Farm. They're doing great things in agritherapy and environmental therapy for veterans. Let's see. I hope I haven't forgotten any. I'm sure there's more, Josh. I just want to make sure that we understand that this county leadership has opened the doors to having expanded amazing county resources and state resources all in one place so that we can really provide programs and services for our veterans. And we're always looking to our legislators to say, hey, what do we really need? What can we do to improve veteran services? So we're all ears.
Okay, all right. For members of our community that aren't necessarily connected with a veterans organization, are there opportunities for them to get involved and help out?
Absolutely. We love our community. We love our volunteers. We have a lot of projects lined up currently to assist some elderly and disabled veterans who are kind of in substandard housing. We've got some Home Depot Foundation grant money that we're helping to do some renovations. And we're really looking towards doing these community projects together. I don't know if any of you guys have ever seen the Home Depot Foundation's work towards, I don't want to say flipping houses, but really making houses more livable for folks. It's a really great project, and we're working on some of those now. We also have the Veterans Forum, where there's peer-to-peer mentoring opportunities for folks to really come alongside a veteran who's had some tough times and provide that mentorship and engagement to help them have a discernible positive outcome. So,
all right, wonderful.
Yeah,
I guess the question, so it sounds an amazing organization, but how would a veteran find out about your organization?
Well, that's why we're
how
here.
would they and how would they reach out? How would they reach out to you for these services?
So that's why we're here. We're trying to get the word out. We had our grand opening in April, and thank you for coming. It was fantastic. But again, this has been an office that has been established for some time in the county, and it's just been expanded recently. So the idea is that they come see us. Best case scenario, they come see us. We're on the 4th floor of the Public Health Building. They can find us there. They can look on the website at SpokaneCounty.org, or they can go to the State Department of Veterans Affairs website at dva.wa.gov.
Okay, all right. I'd like to take it back to the office a little bit. So now I know when I took a tour, you had said it was kind of a total overhaul of that space.
Yes.
Could you explain kind of the renovations that went on and how those help enhance the services you deliver?
Well, I can walk back a little bit, and when I say that it was institutional, what I really mean is there were probably 15 old crusty courthouse chairs, the wooden ones that are very uncomfortable to sit in, that kind of lined the wall of the reception area, and it was pretty institutional, a very formal setting. We've done a lot to bring in some patriotic artwork, to bring in some comfortable furniture, and decorate the place so that it's welcoming, so that it's a warm environment. We've even decorated a little bit for fall. Got some pretty orange leaves going on in there, just so veterans know that we're there. This isn't a social service office for veterans. This is a welcome home for our veterans, and it's an opportunity for us to come alongside them and help them through some difficult times. And we eagerly await serving them there. So.
But it certainly has a very welcoming feel, and you've definitely broken down that government office feel. So you've done a fantastic job with that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Can I ask, what of all the programs you offer, can you highlight sort of which is the one that's most utilized in our area? So where's the need that that veterans continue to come in and ask for?
Sure. Well, it's changing. I will say that, there used to be kind of some cyclical clients that were struggling to find that discernible positive outcome, and it's changing now. I think the thing I'm most excited about is we're providing advanced employment readiness courses. So veterans who are really eager to find work, we're teaching courses on emotional intelligence, interviewing skills, resume building, and all those types of things to really help them find that positive outcome. And then, for our veterans who are disabled, who aren't able to work, the other part of it is being able to connect them to federal benefits. So currently our staff is being trained on expedited Social Security applications through the SOAR program. We're trying to get everyone up to speed so that the idea is we want to either, increase their income in some way, whether that be employment or with a federal program. And so we're just trying to make those connections. For the folks who can't work, it might be Social Security, it might be a VA compensation or pension claim. Those are the types of things we're trying to do to kind of change their outcomes to look more positive and be more sustainable in the long run. So then the veterans that we are seeing are more, it's a crisis, a tree fell on their roof and that upset their entire budget for the month. And so then we're trying to backpedal and help them a little bit. Maybe we make a mortgage payment, maybe we make a rent payment. And typically we don't see those veterans again because it was a one-time assistance and we've been able to assist them through that. We had a recent veteran who was very proactive and preemptive, and he came to see us because he was going to have major back surgery and be out of work for months. And what we did was we connected him right away to a homeless prevention program through the State Department of Veterans Affairs, paid his rent for 2 months so he wouldn't have to worry about it while he was hospitalized and everything. And then and we also started the process for Social Security disability, and that was awarded by the time he'd even come home from the hospital. And so he had a positive outcome in what could have been very tragic. Mm-hmm. So it's good stuff.
Okay. What's sort of your vision as we move towards the future for your department?
Growing. We have a huge veteran population here in Eastern Washington, and my goal is to just make sure that there's a great community awareness that there's this sea of goodwill, and that we really are about edifying and empowering our veterans to get these positive outcomes, to make it a better place to be. We love Spokane. I'm excited to be a part of Spokane again. My husband grew up here, graduated from Shadle. So we're just really excited to be back and be part of the community and be able to grow the level of honor and respect we have for our veterans here in Spokane.
All right. So. And just so we're clear for all our viewers, could you, one more time, the location of your office?
Absolutely. We are in the Public Health Building. I don't know if people call it the trash can building because it's got those rounded domes on the top. Whichever, it's kind of across from the courthouse on College Ave. Mm-hmm. We are on the 4th floor, Suite 401.
Okay. All right. One other thing that I kind of wanted to touch. So, the veterans community seems to, clearly very service oriented, very tight knit group. When you help some of these veterans, do you see them return to ask, how can I give back? You helped me so much, I would like to now help veterans. Do you experience that?
Absolutely, absolutely, all the time. It's amazing how they want to pay it forward. A matter of fact, one of our amazing staff members right now, who's our grant navigator for that Bureau of Justice grant, was a former VA work study. So he has just kind of just grown and blossomed and is doing great things for his fellow veterans now, and has taken up those opportunities with those programs to improve his situation, and now he's helping to improve other situations. So it's pretty amazing. We have, of course, we've got several retired veterans who've come alongside, and then we often have veterans who come in who say, I was homeless and you guys helped me and I'm in a good place now. How can I help? We've connected a lot of those folks to the Veterans Forum, and they become peer mentors for other veterans who have had some justice involvement, who've had some sort of struggle, and they come alongside them and kind of help them succeed. So it's a beautiful thing. I'm so excited about it. I'm sorry, I can't contain.
You've mentioned Veterans Forum a few times. Could you explain what exactly that is for our
So the Veterans Court is a diversion court for veterans who've, due to some part of service connection, whether it's, combat trauma, post-traumatic stress, or maybe even traumatic brain injury, have committed a crime, a misdemeanor crime. And it's a diversionary court so that they can get an opportunity to do community service, to get educated, to get treatment, and then get back into the community successfully. And so it's an amazing program where we have great educators from our higher education institutions, professionals in the community. I've gone out and taught the emotional intelligence course out there. They meet once a month, they break bread together, they have a meal, and they get connected to peer-to-peer mentors who can kind of guide them through the transition through the program so that then they can start with a clean slate down the road. So it's an amazing program.
It sounds like an amazing program. Well, as we wind down to kind of the last few minutes of our show here, is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
Absolutely. I just charge the audience to make sure that you are being an ambassador out there in the community, making sure that the veterans in your community know about us, and we would love to have them come our way. And then I can't thank county leadership enough for thinking outside the box and creating this strategic partnership with state and county and even some nonprofit partners to really do more for the veterans in Spokane. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm afraid we're out of time. I'd like to remind our audience that a video of today's Spotlight can be accessed on our Spokane County homepage and on our Spokane County YouTube channel. I'd like to thank my guest, Cat Nichols, from the Regional Vet Services Department. I'm Spokane County Commissioner Josh Kerns, and thank you for joining us today on Spokane County Spotlight.